ndị be anyị ekeneni m unu ọzọ ụbọchị ewuruchi tata bụ ụbọchị abalị 15 nke ọnwa Nọvemba 2023. anyị sị unu Igbo kwenu, Igbo kwenu, Igbo kwezionu. ya edalụlụ nne na ụmụchukwu ụmụ ife kunu si na-esoro anyị na-eme na Eastern News 24. unu n'anya tata bụ ụbọchị abalị 15 nke ọnwa Nọvemba. anyị wetara unu ife anyị na-akpọ morning tea from the office of Biafra and Republic Government nke bụ onye isi bụ Maazị Simon Ekpa. nwere ife o wetara n'iru akwụkwọ okwuru nchọkwu nke ya bụ ife maka anyị kwere unu nkwa na ga na-etiri unu update ọbụla bụ ife ọbụla na-eme n'ala Igbo. ife ahụ nkwa ekwere unu anaghị na-agba mbọ na-eme ya. o nwere ife Prime Minister kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ mmachukwu nke ya bụ ife unu ga-esi unu etinye na ya alụ unu ekwefu unu chere gbasara maka ihe a Biafran Prime Minister kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ a. All right, over to you, sir.
Referendum. Are you guys going to push for referendum? For example, you say you're going to declare Biafra Republic. What about if there's resistance? What about what is support? I mean, there are many legal, framework or legal thing, the European Union, the other international community. What are your? I know there are things you cannot say right now. What are you things you can say publicly that you can be able to, say to some of us who are kind of, I don't know, everybody, to really get kind of a backbone, a confidence, not just ranting. That's number one. Then before you answer the question, I want to throw a kind of light to, for example, Spain. Catalonia, they went and declared independence, or rather a referendum that was illegal. And then some of them were arrested, put in jail, and now they were pardoned and all that. You guys can go through the process, And Catalonia wants to be their own nation, okay? And also the Basque country in Spain is Europe now, right? They want to be independent. And they really discuss, they are part of the government, and they are really having a lot of conceptions. They used to be killing in the Basque country. And long story, so call the long story short, you see that they are really respecting these two regions. They have the police, they have taxations, and so many things benefit their government right now. So I want a situation whereby that this will become a reality in Biafra land, where people will be educated, no violence, peaceful, law, and justice. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was. Thank you for calling my attention. I was speaking. I didn't know I was muted. So, thank you for that well-detailed comment, and then also followed by the question. Yes, sometimes people are making reference to Catalonia, Spain. We are completely different thing. We are completely different. The plight of the Biafra people are completely different from the plight of Catalonia. The structure under which Catalonia is operating today and where how they come to where they are today is completely different from what happened in Nigeria or in Niger area. So we are completely different people. Catalonia didn't fight any war with Spain at this point. Biafra fought a war and had a self-governing government for 3 years, and millions of people died. Catalonia haven't gone through that route. Catalonia did not have the history of Biafra or the history of Nigeria with Spain. It's completely different. It was not a forceful union like we see in Nigeria that is not working today. Like you said, they even have their own security, have their own tax system. We don't have that in Africa. Africa is completely different. And when you talk about Europe, we are not interested in what Europe has to offer. When you talk about UN, we are not interested in what UN has to offer because they are corrupt. And let me tell you, we are no longer going to them. Our action is going to bring them to us. They will be the one to approach us. And even if it is one man remaining, that one man will fight until they are interested in coming to us. We will never, ever go to them again. I'm telling you the fact. So what we are doing now is we are going to conduct what we call the self-referendum. Like you said, the Catalonia did it, and they were arrested and all that. We are going to do our own, and it is going to succeed. is going to succeed because we are two different nations, we are two different people, we come from different culture, we come from different history, and our history are different. And so, fighting Nigeria, we have tried many, we have been to war, it didn't work. We have been shouting about marginalization for decades. It is not also working. So now we have found a solution, which is fighting this freedom, through a multidimensional approach. That multidimensional approach is the armed struggle, which we are now. Catalonia does not have arms. We have unveiled the Biafra military liberation army. We have unveiled the Biafra resistance fighters. They are coming to kill and bomb our land, and we are resisting it. Nobody is bombing Catalonia. Nobody is killing them with air raid and airstrike. Nobody is bombing their markets and squares. That is happening in Biafra land, and we have raised army, very strong army, well armed with sophisticated weapon to defend our land, and they are defending it. So it is completely two different things. Now we are approaching using a different approach, which I call the multidimensional approach. We are using the political approach, which is the democratic approach. We are also using the diplomatic approach, and we are using also the armed struggle. The armed struggle in the sense that we can't fold our hand while we are using the political and diplomatic approach to get our freedom. They are killing us. No. So we arm ourselves as we are pursuing this particular Biafra's freedom with diplomatic approach and political approach. We are also defending our land so that our women and children are not being butchered like they have done for ages. And that is where the armed struggle comes in. So the self-referendum will be conducted by the time we complete setting up the de facto government executive for all the state of Biafra, confederated state of Biafra, because Biafra is a confederated state. So by the time we finish setting up the de facto government, when we have captured the entire Biafra using this particular executive of the state government from the district to the county to the state administrators, we will have what we will start the exercise of data collection. Even if it is 20 million Biafrans who collected their data, we are good to go. But we are going to start the exercise of data collection, which will go directly to the Biafra government in exile security department, where the data will be stored, to start distributing the right to vote during the referendum. And we're going to make sure that those Biafrans in diaspora will also have the opportunity to cast their vote using electronic means. So the data collection will be done by the Biafra de facto government in the homeland and the Biafra Republic government in exile. So those Biafrans in diaspora will be given opportunity for their data to be collected for the purpose of this self-referendum. After the self-referendum, or before the self-referendum, we are going to inform the European Union, inform the US, inform Israel, inform the United Nations for formality. We're not informing them that they are going to come to give us the referendum because they will never support it. Now, with that, we are also going to inform over 100 human rights organizations that we believe they may be interested in knowing what we are doing. After that particular information has been passed to them, we go ahead with our referendum, which will take weeks to conclude. Make sure that everybody that have collected his or her data is given the opportunity to vote because of the difficulties we are going to encounter with the internet and all that. So we will run this particular program for weeks to make sure everybody voted. After that, we're going to make the voting, the results public, and then we watch the event and followed by the declaration of Biafra. And by then, we'll make sure that those who have come to Biafra land to kill us with from their military base and their military barracks will never be sleeping in the night with their two eyes closed. So this is the plan that we have. The plan may change depending on the situation. So it is subject to change and to be amended at any time without period information or without period notice. So, but this is a glimpse of what you should be expecting. And when this thing happens and the declaration of Biafra is going to be the re-declaration of Biafra for the second time, The world is already aware of Biafra, so it is not something you are going to start explaining to people. Of course, those new generation that are the head of government or serving in different position in Europe, in America, in the UN, may not have a true history of Biafra. So for them, from then, they may want to educate themselves by looking into Biafra and research about it. But by then, we've gone far. We will defend Biafra land after the declaration. And then by then, we've gone far also in running our self-state, which, as you can see, the de facto government. After the declaration of Biafra, we will start the transition, the process. And once we have a status at the UN recognized by some state, we will dissolve the exile government and transit power to the de facto government and run it for a while. In fact, there are many things I don't want to review here, but so with this particular brief explanation, I believe I've answered your question. Thank you.
Yeah, before you go, I just want to quickly, because this is a recorded space and it's good to have to avoid misinformation, or maybe we are not aware of something. For clarity's sake, you detainee, which is absolutely brilliant. For me, I support what you're saying. I support, like I've said, I support the freedom of the people. And one thing that has to be very, very emphatical is that freedom of Biafra belongs to the Biafrans. That is very, very obvious. Freedom of the people belongs to the people. You're right. Should you expect foreigners or foreign government to come and help you if you cannot help yourself? There should be massive, self-help, self-detailed information, not misinformation. Very important. There's a place in the scripture that say that know the truth will set you free. Right? The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it. Anything might try to derail you, but at the end of the day, there it is. So the truth is very important. That's why I emphasize on that. Going to Catalonia and Macedonia, north of Macedonia, got their independence in, if I'm not wrong, in 1991 or something like that. Right? And that was a peaceful breakup of Yugoslavia. That is Macedonia. So we're still one world. Whether it's Biafra, it's Nigeria, Catalonia, Yugoslavia, we are still in the same universe. So we can be able to study their style and amend, and we're able to get our result. Like I said, the result is what I want. I want Biafra to have its country or to have a stake in the system. That's very obvious. That is Macedonia. Then Catalonia had offensive. They fought war. Many Catalonians were killed. Some of them were executed, the leaders and all that, which is a long story. You can Google it. And then there was this Spanish Civil War, right? So the northern, nationalists.
I don't know if the PM is going to allow us to be going through this history, which I'm sure he already knows.
Like I said, when I talk about fighting war, I'm not talking about Spanish war. You can't compare the Spanish war to the declaration of Biafra that led to the war of Biafra against Nigeria. So it's a two different thing. Like I said, we can't compare Catalonia to Biafra or Nigeria. Catalonia is still situated or located in Europe, not just in Europe, also in Schengen state. Schengen state. So these are civilized people already. They are civilized and they know what is democracy. And they are today enjoying to some extent the dividend of democracy, what Europe has to offer. We don't have that kind of opportunity in Africa. Africa is not just a third world country. There are more than 20th world country, because everything it has to be with knife and gun. So nobody is ready to listen to you in Africa when you want to go through the civilized democratic way, like you see in Europe, like in Spain and Catalonia. So we don't need to draw any similarity or any reference from Catalonia to Biafra. It's completely, we design how the thing will work for us. What work for us will not work for Catalonia. What work for Catalonia will not work for us, because these are people with a different mentality. And Nigeria, we are not just dealing with Nigeria, or we are not just dealing with human being in Nigeria. We are dealing with nomadic style, nomadic people that don't actually value human life, people that don't actually have a life. So these are the people that have occupied and hijacked the so-called Niger area. So when you deal with them, you come with a well-designed, very ruthless approach to be able to dismantle them. And that's what this particular present Biafra liberation is doing. What people think it is impossible, we are doing it. Thank you.
Okay, last thing is this before I leave, is that just last point, please. Last point, please. What about, for example, now, what you say right now, I really identify myself with it, and we have to do massive education. I believe you agree with me, right? To win the people, we need massive education.
We are winning the people with our actions. It is no longer time for educating anybody. We are not preaching anymore. We are taking the bull by its horn. Delay is dangerous. So the people will come to term with Biafra by the time they see the actions that is going on. So we know our people and we know how they reason. Thank you.
Exactly. So last point is that what about if there's a regional presidency, like what's happening in other places right now? If there's a new president,
we are not interested in anything Nigeria anymore. We are not interested in anything regional. We just want our freedom. You can continue. Whoever wants to continue with Nigeria can go ahead with the regional. We are not interested in regional anymore. It is now very late. We've crossed the Rubicon. There is no going back.
Thank you, my Prime Minister. Thank you, Prof. You have really engaged, and I'm sure the response from the Prime Minister is quite enlightening to you. Take it to the camps and let them know how resilient we are, how resolved we are. Thank you, PM, for that very, resounding reply. I'm going to give you the microphone right now. Bench Ukusago, please let us make it very quick so that we can engage a lot of people tonight. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor Van. Thank you, PM. Thank you so much for your resilient work you are doing. You are really doing wonderful. It has shown clearly now that the Zoological Republic is a banana republic. There's no doubt in it. Some time ago, you gave an order that all these people that call themselves politicians or commissioners, that they should resign from what they are doing. But they are not showing any sign of resigning. What will be their condition if we restore Biafra as soon as possible? Thank you.
Sorry, can you rephrase your question again? I will get started. Sorry.
Yeah, some time ago you give an order for the commissioners or these people working in the zoological in Biafra land to resign, but they are not showing any sign of resignation at all.
First of all, let me correct you. First of all, many of them have resigned, and during that time, we came online on our program to inform Biafrans. Many of them resigned. Some of them made it open and public, like in Anambra State. In Imo State, they were resigning secretly. And the point is that when we give such orders, don't expect the enforcement of that order immediately. It can take months. When you have forgotten, that's when we come. Thank you. So, next question, please.
Okay, I read my case now at the moment. Let me give others a chance. Thank you.
Thank you, Bench. Thank you very much. You just go back and start listening. And I'm going to give you the microphone right now. Jaja, please go ahead and take 60 seconds, please.
The Deputy Minister of Information and my own Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. I salute you from here. And my Minister, Mazi Ugo 247. I salute you from here. And my brother Success, I salute you. Pastor Rose. And everyone on the space, I salute each and every one of you. My minister, my Prime Minister, I want to ask two questions. One is follow-up question and one is my question. I will first ask my own. That question is, we discovered that yesterday in this fraudulent, non-existing selection that happened in Imo State, that some churches use their church premises for this particular impunity. And my question is, what is going to be the message to these churches? Because as none of them before years, because we can't condone enablers in priest form in Biafra land. Then my second question, my Prime Minister. The question that the Fulani guy asked here is a serious question. What this guy is trying to point us to is many of them has many lands.
Can you not go to the question I have addressed? I know why I addressed that question that way. Ask your own question and don't address the question of a Fulani man or Hausa man here. I've addressed this question, and I know the level that I addressed that issue is not the level of the Biafra people in the homeland, but it's for international standard. For people who may be listening to this program. So don't go and start addressing issues that I've addressed or questions that I've addressed from Fulani or from Hausa that have been addressed legally and not, by the mentality of the person is Hausa or Fulani. So it doesn't have to stay in our land. Please avoid that. So what is the question? Your first question, please.
Okay, let me come from another angle.
You talked about church.
Yes,
it is not just about church. Your question should have been the enablers of this impunity in our land. Don't single out church. The election, those who participated in the fraudulent were caught across board. So, and then what you should do is to take record of those who participated to validate Nigeria within Biafra land, and then let us see, go inside our legislation room, draw the map, and look at what we are going to do with them. It is not something that we are going to discuss publicly here. It is a security matter. So once we have the details of those who are the enablers who facilitated, to have even one vote, or to validate Nigeria with one vote or even two votes, we need those information with evidence of video or picture of where they were participating and validating Nigeria. And then we'll go back to our drawing board and see how we are going to handle them. It's not something we're going to discuss here. So any other question?
And by Darukwan Line Kunusiness Line and Eastern is 24. On our Fugo Sabata Wayakuru. And I forgot one never Jula Jamaka Referendum. And if Biafran Prime Minister Safalia and Kediki Biabo Obnigaya Bife. Kifi Waliki Kubastamaka Nine. Biafran Prime Minister Lagasiaka, now Julia, di teacher, drop all I feature, the commission below. Nkedi Bios Quabo, Iaqua Eastern News 24, Kaisno Telunukozia do Kemba Munem, Wadalo Linen, Kemesiano Mibo.